Nigel, what do you make of these results?
Strong results for Le Pen. Strong results also for Mélenchon, who got a lot more votes than anybody thought at 20%. Look, France is in a very unhappy place. It reminds me of the UK back in the 1970s. People aren't happy. People are angry. There is a feeling that Paris has become pretty much a foreign country. And that's an even greater split than we had in our country with the Brexit vote back in 2016. So I think in many ways, I have to say, it's all to play for. But it will all depend on one thing. On the 20th of this month, there will be a head-to-head debate. That will decide who wins this French presidential election. If Marine Le Pen can convince enough people that a major change of direction is needed and that she's not scary in the way that her father was, if she can do that, she can win. Back in 2017, she had a calamitous debate. Macron completely outthought her, completely outfoxed her. Has she changed? Has she improved? Everything will hinge on that.
Indeed. What about the tactical voting element of this, Nigel? A lot of other parties kind of group together and say, look, hey, OK, we just want to do everything to keep Le Pen out. And they urge their own supporters to vote for Macron, don't they? Could she fall victim to that as well, do you think?
Well, Mélenchon was very clear, wasn't he, to his fifth of the vote? Do not vote for Marine Le Pen. But I'm not sure the left are quite as scared of Marine Le Pen as perhaps they were 5 years ago, or certainly in the days when her father ran the predecessor, the Front National. When you think about it, this vote will be about the European Union as much as it's about French culture. Macron is a true believer in the European dream. He loves it. He wants the United States of Europe. Marine is very Eurosceptic. Not a withdrawalist anymore, but very Eurosceptic. And a lot of those Mélenchon voters are Eurosceptic themselves.
Well, this is it. Yeah, this is it. Sorry, that's just on that point now, but that's a really crucial point I want to dig down deep on, because if I was Marine Le Pen, I think I'd be bracketing this as almost like an EU referendum, which Macron isn't going to give them. And so actually that could be a real way in for it, couldn't it?
I couldn't agree more. It's very interesting watching the broadcast media across the rest of UK channels today. There's almost no mention of the European Union whatsoever. They don't understand it. But I tell you what, when I go around France, I spent a lot of time there, of course, going back and forth to the European Parliament in Strasbourg, I find the French people pretty much as Eurosceptic as the Brits were in the run-up to 2016. So it's going to be really interesting. And one more reason to understand why the last few days matters so much. France, unlike the UK, unlike America now, has not been corrupted by mass early postal voting. If you want to vote in France, you've pretty much got to turn up on Sunday the 24th. And that is why that debate on the 20th will matter so much. Where you have systems where large numbers have voted 2-3 weeks before an election, polling day takes on less significance. So it's all on that debate.
And just very finally, one of the reasons many people in this country might not look so kindly on France is because of the Channel migration crisis. We know that last year, the number of illegal migrants crossing the Channel were over 3 times what it was the previous year. Do you have any hope that a change of leader might actually provide the impetus needed to get on top of this issue?
Well, Macron, of course, is clearly anti-British, Le Pen, well, is Le Pen going to be more pro-British and more pro-America? That remains to be seen. And that's a question she must be asked over the next few weeks. When it comes to the Channel, it's easy for us to blame the French, Actually, we should look to ourselves. This is seen as Treasure Island by the migrants that are crossing the continent. They know there is zero chance of deportation. So I think, it's a question worth asking, but perhaps we should look more to ourselves.